Um, so I'm going to start with talking about goals because it's so aligned with what you just said, Hannah. And we're going to move into your feminine and masculine in your business and how you can support that. And I'm in Feminine February, so I invite you to join me. I feel like we're all there right now. So when you set goals as well, apologies if you've heard me say this before, have you guys had that experience before where you've set your goals and then they go from feeling fun to making you feel like actual shit because they feel like a pressure cooker? Has anyone had that experience? Has anyone not had that experience? Or not quite know what I mean? Jenny is saying no. So sometimes it doesn't even feel that obvious that you're having that, and actually you might just not have it, but it might not always feel that obvious that you're having that experience. But it's like, because what you want or your vision or the thing that you're aiming for is so big, because you're a big dreamer, you get to a point where you actually feel quite consumed or frustrated by the lack of it happening fast enough or happening now, or even just almost the weight of it, and you don't even realize that it's actually making you feel like shit, but you're very consumed by it. So the symptoms of that would be like very distracted all the time. So always in your head, like putting the kids to bed, thinking about business, on the weekend, thinking about business, doing that, like working out, thinking about business, because you're so like, you're like in that kind of thing. And look, it might not be yours, but I'm going to tell you what I have done, which is life changing. And this is going to show you all the different angles of where you can be in your feminine in your business, but supported by your masculine. So you'll probably want to make notes. So your masculine is your goals, right? That is a masculine energy in your business structure. And I'll run through what others are. And you set the goals and you get excited. You're like, yes, this is it. I'm going to do it. I'm aiming for it. I'm not playing small. Okay. And then what you want to do is establish everything that we do in CEO, which is, first of all, who does that goal require me to be? Who does that require me to be? And you're going to get more confident in answering that question as you go along. If you haven't answered that question, don't move on to the next point. Ask for help. But that would be like, how does she feel? Like, can you feel it like it's already done? Because if you want to be a frequency match, when I say lock into your identity every morning or as much as you can frequently, you want to be connecting with the feeling of that thing already being done. What you don't want to be is living your life in the feeling of that thing not being achieved, which at the moment is where you've been. You know what I mean? Because you're constantly in resisted desire. You're constantly in the lack of the thing that you want. Yeah. So say someone really wanted to be in love. And they were like, okay, I've done a workshop and I've painted my dream man and I could, yes, yes. And then they get the feeling, they shut their eyes and they're in the feeling of him and her away somewhere together and the way he makes her feel and how that feels like of it already being done. And then she goes back into shifting into 1.0 identity and she lives her whole dating life not from that feeling. She shifts her whole dating life in the lack of that thing, and she's pretending that all she wants is that thing, but she's obsessed with being in the feeling of not having that thing, and it feels like shit. And because when you shut your eyes and you get into that vision and you feel like it's already being done, that feels like a really nice feeling. And when you shift into the other one, it's not a nice feeling. Is this making sense? That is energetics. So that is your frequency. And the reason it's a nice feeling is because it's in alignment with abundance. It's for you. So that's your work to do. So it's first of all painting the goals and how does that feel? And who is that version of me? What does she believe? What's her confidence like? How does she feel about her structure? Yeah. Is she like, I identify as someone that's collected and structured and I work with myself. She's self-responsive. So you really get into that. And then you just create your like strategic actions. Okay. So, okay, how do I want to achieve that? What's my marketing plan? Am I going to email market? How many times a week? or a month? How many times am I going to post on which platforms a week? Blah, blah, blah. Do you know what I mean? You put the actual shit in place that is going to create the action. So then you've got your vision, your feeling, and your action. So long as you stayed in the feeling and the embodiment and you didn't slip into fuck my life, I can't do this, there would literally be no reason, if you're actually taking the action, why that thing wouldn't happen, is there? There we go. That's a manifestation. It's a thought, a feeling, and an action. But the slip comes because the feeling slips and you go into lack without realizing, because it's normalized in your body. And what happens is it's because you've stayed in your masculine. What happens because of all sorts of stuff. But it happens because you forget to be and you're in your do. Okay, so I really want you to think about this. You've set the goal, you've got into her, like Charlie says, she's a queen. Yes, she is. And you see her and you're like, yeah, okay, I can do that. I can be her. That's fine. And then you set the plan. You're like, how will I achieve it? But then you need to leave the plan section. And what's happened until now is you've then stayed in the plan bit. And then you've become the hamster on the wheel and you're in do, 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 do. Now, the magical part is you can still take the action whilst falling back into that floaty vision feeling. So if you literally carved out your actions that those goals are going to take, and you've put them in your Google Calendar, you've structured yourself, you've written your content plan, you've put a reminder in your diary for when you send your emails and when you see your clients and the odd networking thing that you're going to go to, you don't need to keep thinking about it anymore. That is dysregulation. Is you've stayed in this obsession of, but now if I let go of thinking about the plan, scarcity, everything might fail, I might drop it. But you can trust yourself to totally forget about all of the do and all of the action and just be in your delulu, feeling good, be in the embodiment, be in your feminine, live, go and see your fucking friends and read your kids a bedtime story with your phone on airplane mode for 12 hours and do anything it is that you just want to be, switch off, trusting yourself that you will wake up the next day and just take the actions that are laid out in front of you and switch off. And that toxic relationship that we have, I so get this as well with, but I need to stay on. I need to stay on. I need to keep watching the egg and hoping that it cracks. You know, I need to helicopter parent this business. That's the problem. Did that not make sense to anybody? No. Cool. Okay. And it will change your life. So every time you set a goal, you need to remember that. You need to put that somewhere. You need to set the goal, get the embodiment, determine the actions, and switch the fuck off from it. Okay. And the best way to switch the fuck off from it is what we're going to do today, is to be so, it's the only time I'm going to use the B word. Okay. You heard it once and for all. But you want to be so busy just being in your feminine and living your best life and in I don't give a fuck energy and just in trust and allow. Please write allow down. Trust and allow. You need to feel the energy of allow in your body. Be so busy minding your own business and not even fucking thinking about it and taking the action and then signing off. And that's going to be your biggest test in business because you guys are consistent. Consistency is not the problem. You show up. I don't work with people that don't show up. The problem is switching off. And it's actually the biggest test because it's like, what am I making it mean? What limiting belief do I have here? What story have I applied here? If I switch off, everything will fall apart. Well, I know that's not the truth. And actually, and the best way to do this, if it's your first time doing this, is to give yourself a 1 month trial or a 1 week trial. So you're like, okay, well, why don't we test it for a week? I take the actions and I switch off. I don't give a fuck. I go and live my best life. I'm in I don't give a fuck energy. I'm just in my divine feminine, and I'll give it 1 week. And if it all goes to pot, then that's not a problem. I can carry on going back to being a psycho, completely obsessed with everything. I spent my entire life there, consumed, all work and no play, and burning myself out. It's almost like when you order food at a restaurant and just trust it's coming. Yes. Should have just said that. Yes. You're not obsessed. You're not helicoptering around the chef and checking the waiter's order again. It's not that you're going to leave and not eat it. You're not going to not take the action. You're not going to not order it and not eat it and then pay for it when you're done. You know that the action's going to happen. This isn't about taking less action. It's about not staying in the action box. It's about coming out of it again. So share what you got from that in the thing, so I know where it's landed. So the other parts of your business that are masculine are all of your systems and structures. Okay. So anything, content, strategic, skills, systems, anything automated that you have, the running of things, the numbers of things, all of those pillars, think of them as like pillars holding up a business. They are all the masculine structures of your business. And it's really important that you still respect that and learn to get better at some of those things. Yeah, that's the biggest thing that I do often see is entrepreneurs are just like, well, this is my level of knowledge and that's just where I am. Like, no, like there are going to be parts of that you can delegate off, okay, and parts of that you're like, I need to get better at that thing, okay, and that's your masculine structures. And you need to have that respect for your masculine structures, because without the masculine structures in your business, it's obviously just going to flop. Okay, it's not going to work. It's going to be just useless. Or sometimes you're going to go into masculine and then it's just going to flop, and then and we're not going to do that. But the feminine part of your business is your aliveness, is growing to be big enough to be and allowed to trust that the meal is coming. Because all of your magic as a woman lives in there, as we know. That's when you make your best relationships. That's when you have your most creative ideas. So you can try and sit and force creativity when you're in your masculine or you're sat down, but it's not going to come. So it's having that high level of respect for what you're going to get in your feminine and your quality of life. Your quality of life will never come from your masculine, ever, including for men. It's not where it's found. You're going to get purpose and you're going to get dopamine from it and you're going to get a buzz and you're going to enjoy elements of it, but you get to be your femininity. And then there's other elements that run through that as well, like the flow of money. That's the feminine, you know, the exchange of value with clients. That's the feminine. Everything fluid and in movement. So I think that's a really important thing to write down. I'm going to let you guys write some notes for 2 seconds, and I'm going to let someone share what they got from that before I move on.
I'll share a little bit. I, just for context, I'm opening a business in the moment, which will actually be opening in April. So you're saying all this, and I'm like, I feel like I'm so in the do just now, and it's like a season of doing
Yes.
a lot. And so I'm kind of battling in my mind a little bit, like, okay, where can I do feel like I have like set the vision and put a lot in place and have like stepped back, and I'm in trust because I've got other people doing like the renovations and things like that. Like I'm not in there with like a hard hat.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a little bit of a inner battle and thinking like, okay, when the season slows down and things are open and things are in flow at the studio, like then what's it gonna look like for me?
I love this so much. And also, Jenny, I feel like without knowing you too well yet, because of what you do, which is in wellness, you probably have quite a good relationship with this. Like, I feel like your foundations will be pretty strong on what I'm saying in this. So the way that you can really take it up a notch for yourself is agree you're in build season. So when you're in build season, there is more masculine. It's needed, and thank God for it. And that's the whole beauty is we need to understand what these energies are instead of just having no clue and then just being, I don't think anyone in this group is, but accidentally being in your feminine for 3 weeks and doing no work on, or then being in your masculine for 4 weeks and then burning out. It's like, okay, I really get these balances of what tasks in my business fall into my masculine and what tasks thrive for my feminine. But to really optimize this for you, Jenny, when you're in build season, or for anyone in build season, is challenge yourself to do it in a 24-hour period or a 7-day period. So, because you'll find the dysregulation, because the adrenaline is so addictive to us of our masculine, especially as women, and usually women that are carrying some kind of trauma or some kind of belief thing or something that made us be in that survival. We get hooked on it. So you'll find yourself maybe scrolling more or staying up later or doing things that you're like, I get that I'm in build, but I don't need to be doing that on a Friday night, or so it's like upping that discipline, and then you'll really enjoy that. So maybe set yourself just like one challenge where maybe you can see yourself slipping. And I'm tested the most when I'm in build, is my mind's like, let's do this. She's back. The masculine's back. Let's just run with it. Let's not sleep for 3 months. And it's like, Hannah, I need to break up with Instagram. Yes, okay. So like airplane mode. So I'm in finally great habits with this now, where I will airplane mode it, and then like set the actual physical time that I can go back in. Do you know what I mean? So just small things. I love that so much. Also, I'm so excited for business. I can't wait to see get my hands on it. What you're building is just insane. We're gonna have to share it with the girls once it's going. So now what I wanted to do, because I feel like this is something that nearly everyone struggles with, and if you don't struggle with it, you're going to thrive from doing this, is I want you to list all of the reasons as a business self-love exercise why you are the shit. Go. I will give you some prompts. Go. So why are you the absolute ultimate for your client to pay for the solution that you provide? Why do you care more? What is it that you have been through that means that you have an edge that no one else has? You didn't start your business for money, or if you did, you're not running it just for money now. You really care about what you're doing. Why are you qualified, highly qualified to be doing what you do, or what you're moving into doing? So remember, we're painting from visions. This might be something that you're aiming to create your next thing, your next program, your next service, your next step. Why are you qualified? What is different about the way that you do it? And sometimes this is like you've had crappy experiences somewhere else and then felt extra fueled, or maybe you had an amazing experience which made you want to do what you do. What are the things that your clients have said to you? Like, what are the compliments? You know, the messages that you get from your clients, and you're like, what are they saying to you? And I want you to think about the results that you have created and are creating and are going to create. So some of those, if it's for like a future program or a future service or business that you are going to create, you're not doubting that. She's not going to pay you and you'll be like, I think you'll be all right. You're like, you are going to love this. When you guys get to strategy rehab, there's an amazing session on selling with certainty, selling uncertainty and security. But all I want to pull from that, because most of you guys are quite early on, is however secure you are in yourself. So however sure and certain you are that you are the only option for your client is what she'll pick up on. So if you kind of think that, she'll pick up that you're kind of the option. And you are the only option. You are utterly unique and amazing at what you do and a genius. And you're not in CEO for me to make you better at the thing that you do, which says one thing and one thing only to me, which is you are amazing. It's just really making sure that you value that higher every day. And every time you're moving into something bigger, that requires you valuing it bigger, more self-confidence, more self-certainty. And to make sure when you're selling and marketing and reaching the person that you want to reach, because sales is service, when you are doing your lead generation, when you are doing your marketing, when you are converting clients, when you are having conversations, is to make sure that you come from that level of certainty, because she then feels safe to come in. If I bought this very questionable water bottle and I took it to the till and the lady was like, I think it will work. I don't think it leaks. You don't have to get it if you don't want it. Like, it's there. Or like, would I, like, how would I feel? Versus if she was like, it's gonna change your fucking life, that water bottle. You're gonna be so hydrated. Don't you just hate it when you have a tiny water bottle and then you're either not drinking enough water or you're filling it up all goddamn day? And you bought one of those really expensive water filters at home and you like to carry that water around. So now you're going to be in the gym with your filtered water and you're also going to know when you've hit your water target. What a win. Bam, I'm in the experience. I'm certain. And so it's just such a good prompt to reset your RAS, like Hannah said, like, fuck, it's so easy for your brain to focus on the members that have left or the payments that have bounced or, the people that have gone quiet or whatever. But that is only ever going to keep us in the lack, which we know, but the way through it is to reset how your RAS, your evidence seeker in your brain, works every day. So if you literally tell him in the morning, I am the absolute shit at what I do for these reasons, feel free to spend the rest of the day gathering me more information for why I am the shit, why I am a life changer, why no one is like me, why I care more than anyone, why this gets to be easy, why this is already mine, that would be wonderful. Thank you. And then he will get to work for you because that is literally his job. That is literally what it's already doing. And you need to make sure you're setting this machine up properly. And I'm going to make you do something uncomfortable because I once set people to get in partners and no one did it. So I want you to, how do I want you to do this? What I want you to do is to get really confident in introducing who you are and what you do, because I have done too many one-to-ones where you know who I'm talking when you listen on replay. Someone still say that they were telling someone a story about their side business, and I was like, side business? No, no, okay. Like there's too much dulling your sparkle down. You know, there's too much like this is just my there's too much apologizing. This is just my little business, or I've only just started, or I'm scared to call myself a coach yet, or like whatever it is, just like, oh, I just kind of do this part-time, or there's just too much energy of that. And I know some of you have really moved through that, like Jenny, you're in your full swing, so this is an even more important time to make sure that you're, so I want you to write down as if you are in a non-cringe networking situation, okay? Maybe like maybe like we do a networking event and it's the vibe. And I want you to have to introduce yourself. Write it down right now. You can type it if you want to type it, but I am, and I, so much certainty. Yes, Hannah. And because you've finished, Hannah, just write yourself. And because you've said, I always do this when anyone asks me, I always play it down. You don't even have to share this one, but write something now zoomed out as well. So you've done exactly what I was asking, but also like business wise. So I run an incredible scaling to six figures business online where I literally am changing the trajectory of women's lives via wellness. Something like owning your massive picture. Yes. And everyone feel free to do that zoomed out business one as well. Just got Charlie's. Amazing. Yes. Like I am the shit. This is not side business vibes. No. And these little, oh yeah.
Sorry. Oh, my camera's off. I was just going to say, when you upload the replay on this, can you include those little prompts that you did?
Yeah.
Because I realized I found them really hard, and I actually want to sit and do them properly because I think this is half of my problem. Like I want to sit down and write it out and stick it on like my bathroom mirror so that every morning I'm reading those things to remind me why I am the shit. That would be really helpful. Would that be okay?
Absolutely. I will pull them from my own mind, but I'm just going to write them down now.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
You are so welcome. Let me just write a few notes myself. And getting those business ones in, guys, you know, and this is so eye-opening for, you know, we've got the vision and you're always progressing into that bigger vision. And it's exciting and you can do a visualization where you get into it and it feels amazing. But then what are you going back to? So when I'm like, who does that require you to be? Energetically, who does that require you to be? If your vision is big, beautiful, expansive vision, and you've lined your actions up for it too, but you're spending every day inside business vibes, that's not an energetic match, is it? It's apologizing, it's small. So then your vision actually is just quite small and restrictive and apologetic and a little bit like, am I? Might I be? I am on Monday, but I'm not on Wednesday. I don't want to do anything else with you guys. Oh, I think I'm done. Anyone got anything they want to share or any questions?
Can I share something, please?
Please.
Can you hear me? Oh, sorry, I've just parked my car. I've got to say, like, at the beginning of this process, when I did the first call the other week, I felt completely out of my depth because I was like, oh, these girls have all got their shit together and I don't know what I'm doing. Like, But I have been listening to your podcast and just literally, I have Post-its all around my house at random places, like above light switches and stuff, that literally just say, yes, queen, yes, queen, yes, queen. They're everywhere. And it's really helped me to like allow what's happening, because I know that I am not in a position at the moment to go full throttle because there is, there's so much shit going on. But I'm just trying to do like the back work and just trying to do the inner work and feeling like I know that I'm good at what I do because I've done it. And that, like when you just said, why should they come to you? Because I've lost 6 stone. I'm strong as fuck. And I'm also quite nice. And that is why this is why I've had 2 clients in the last week, which were completely out of the blue. I wasn't really looking for anyone. I was just doing my normal posting because in the very least, I'll try and post 3 or 4 times a week and my stories are every day. But the more normal I am in my stories and the more relatable, like I put stuff about my dog, about the kids, but still obviously working out because that's my non-negotiable. And they've come to me and they're like, yeah, we come to you because you have done this journey and, you're not a bitch with it. And I think apparently that there are a few coaches around where I live that aren't particularly nice. And I'm like, no, but it's all about being empathetic as well, like having that empathy with people. We know what it's like being busy, having kids. It's a shit show, but it's just trying to be a little bit consistent and also saying, your goals don't have to be huge, but you just work on it every day. And I'm trying to work on this every day, just in the littlest points. And just whenever I feel that lack coming in, just chucking it in the bucket and going, actually, no, the bigger picture is going to be incredible. But I'm just doing what I can within my capacity to get there. That's what I like to share.
Yes. And also it never stops. It never stops. It's just crazy. Like it's like this because you coach a totally other different area. And the sooner we can just accept that I won't ever be at the end of the rainbow, and actually I'm really happy about that, the sooner we can not make growing as a person this whole thing or like an extra task or like it's just my way of life. I'm just doing everything that 1% tighter today and 1% more intentional today. And I mean, the progress you've had in such a short period of time is wild,
Yeah.
because you've just you've just let go. And it gets to be that easy as a woman. It really does. Like, of course, we take action, but you always get to be in that energy of allow. And you've just been conditioned to think your whole life that it just has to be so much harder than that, which is a lot. I feel like this when I joined you, but you do start to feel like you have it together too. You do have it together.